Hey guys, Anthony here for another video. Today I got the new Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 laptop. Now this came out I think around November, and we basically picked it up for one of the engineers in the company because we make a lot of I want to say Xcode builds, and this should blaze through it. And I want to explain why we got a 13-inch MacBook Pro versus a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And the reason why is the M1 chips are only available for the 13-inch MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air. And what the M1 chip is actually, in my opinion, a revolutionary step in terms of computer chips. The M1 chip is basically all the research and development that Apple has done in the last 10 years on their iPhones and iPads. And finally, they have taken that chip and made it and put it into a laptop. And what's unique about the M1 chip is it's basically a system on a chip. Now, on this configuration I got, it's 8-core CPU, which is all the M1 chips are right now. And this one has the maximum RAM, which is 16 gigs. And also this one has the 512 gigabyte SSD drive. Now, why only 16 gigs? The reason why is for the M1 chip, you got the 8-core CPU, you got the RAM, and you got the GPU plus some other processors all on a single chip. Unlike current computers where you have the CPU and then you have the RAM somewhere else on the motherboard. So what that means is this thing should outperform an equivalent laptop, maybe one that's twice as many cores, twice as much RAM as it. And so far the benchmarks which I've seen online have shown that. So it's amazing. And not only that, but since this chip is based on the iPhone, iPad chip, the battery life on this is literally twice, I think 20 hours, which is insane. So it's really amazing, guys. I mean, I think this is what's gonna make Apple again, in a different way, but they really revolutionized the chip industry, and they're basically shaking up Intel's stronghold on it. Now, getting back to it, we picked this up, and I think the retail price for the base version, which is only 8 gigabytes and 256 gigs of hard drive space, SSD, is $12.99. With the extra 512 gigabytes plus, the extra 256 gigabytes of storage plus the extra 8 gigabytes of RAM, this thing is, I think it was $16.99. But, I dropped the link below. It's probably going to be cheaper now, especially on Amazon once it gets on there. But yeah, $16.99 or $12.99 gets you one of the best laptops on the market right now. Now, it doesn't have external GPU, but from what I've seen, this thing rips when it renders, especially on Final Cut. And the other unique thing about this M1 chip is Apple developed all the software and the latest operating system to directly work with it. So it's super efficient. And you can still use like Adobe software, which isn't native yet, through what they call a translation layer called Rosetta, that basically translates the Intel-based software so it can work on this M1 chip. And so far, even it's not native like Adobe, I think Premiere, it still does a great job beating out a similarly Intel-based system with twice as much RAM, and I think even an external GPU. But anyway, guys, that's a lot of ranting. I'm just saying I'm really impressed by Apple. But yeah, I'm excited to try this out before giving it to the engineer. So let's open it up. No unboxing knife required for this. So let's put that on the side. And again, nice packaging. The boxes, I think, have been you know, quality-wise hasn't been as nice as they used to be. The ink job, I want to say, but overall, you know, still Apple. Nothing in the back of the box. And here's the laptop. And I got the space gray, and it also comes in silver, guys. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is you don't need, if you don't like a laptop and you want to try an M1 chip, you can actually get a Mac Mini with an M1 chip for I think like $7.99, which is a killer deal. And if you do a lot of rendering, like heavy rendering, you can, you know, just plug in an external GPU to it. So there's the laptop. And unlike the iPhone 12, you get the cables, right? So this is the USB-C cable. And you get the charger still, which is great. And this is just their, you know, standard, I think 23, I want to say 46 watt charger. 61 watt USB-C power adapter. So that's nice to give you that. And then inside here, let's see what they give now these days. You got the instructions for it. Again, the only port you have on this is USB-C and Thunderbolt. That's all the ports you get. So if anything, you need adapters for this. You got some space gray stickers, pretty nice. What else is there? And I think this is just the warranty, right? Yeah, just safety regulations, nothing important. And that's it. It's interesting that they kind of, even this, they added like some extra cardboard just to make it feel thicker. So that's the attention to detail that Apple has. And I watched an interesting documentary the other day on Steve Jobs of why Apple culture is so detail oriented. And it has to do with shinhanga, which is a type of Japanese woodblock painting that Steve Jobs was a huge fan of. And I think when he first revealed Apple One, the paint program was actually showing an image, a digital image of one of the woodblock prints of a Japanese woman, which was a pretty interesting documentary. You know, I'll try to find a link below and show you guys the documentary, but yeah. Anyway, back to the unboxing. This is a laptop. Not sure what this is. Oh, this is just the imprint from it. Let's open it up. No need for that. And again, this thing is really compact. I haven't tried the new MacBook Air, but if you guys are looking for a more lightweight package, probably a MacBook Air is better. But this one can probably do a lot more heavy processing and rendering, especially since we're doing a lot of Xcode and a lot of Premiere stuff. So definitely wanted to get the MacBook Pro just for better cooling. And it does have a fan, that's why, while the MacBook Air doesn't. But again, you kind of sacrifice you know, compactness with this one. But again, it's super light. I think this thing, I want to say is around 3.5 pounds. Really cool. Thickness, it's not super thin, I want to say, because it's thin here, but it kind of like expands again. But they do have a headphone jack, which is great. I thought they would get rid of that actually. And two Thunderbolt 3 connectors here, and that's all you have. And let's open up the laptop for the first time. It just turns on by itself. Let's take off the wrapping. And let's see if it boots up, guys. And also the other new thing with these new MacBook Pro and MacBook Air is I think it has a new keyboard system. So let's set it up a little bit. But yeah, the feel is still good. It's really good. I need to try it more to tell if there's a difference between this and I want to say my MacBook 15-inch. I think it's from 2018, the one I have. So that's what I've been using. And then, you know, I'll set this up, guys. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it right now. Let me set it up and I'll be back. All right, guys, just did a really basic setup on it, connect to the Wi-Fi, finish up all the basic settings on it. And then, you know, like they ask if you want to share your data with Apple. I usually say no. And I had a chance to just play with the keyboard a little bit. And I want to say it does feel a lot more, how can I explain? A lot more quieter. And without losing feedback. I think it might take me some time to get used to it. But yeah, pretty good. Again, it should be a better keyboard than the previous generations. And also, you have this huge touchpad right here that you can do like different functions with. I'm never like that great with the functions, but yeah, you can do some cool stuff with it if you know how to use it. But yeah, let me show you guys like a close-up of it. So there's the keyboards. Pretty nice. It feels really solid. Unlike my MacBook 2018 MacBook Pro, the keys aren't like, how can I explain? Like it doesn't jiggle. It's not like Tic Tacs. So it does feel a lot more solid, but time will tell. Let's see if Apple really improved it. But yeah, you know, just a quick unboxing, guys, quick review. You know, I'm gonna get Xcode installed on this, and let me see if you guys want me to do some benchmarks. I'll try to do it. I might just do it just to see if it's such a huge difference, because again, this thing has no external GPU, only 16 gigs of RAM, and I think my MacBook Pro is an i7 chip with, I want to say it's 8 cores or 10 cores, I forgot. But anyway, it has 32 gigs of RAM, and it has a NVIDIA, you know, card in it. But it'd be interesting to see how this does versus it on Xcode and like say Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro. But until next time, guys, you know, thanks again for watching the video. I know this is a quick one, but if you guys have, you know, are gonna think about getting another MacBook, definitely get the M1 chips. Even though on paper the specs look like less than an Intel equivalent, it's actually much better. And if you want the 16-inch one, Apple's probably gonna release it next year. I mean, later this year, right? And also, if you want a Mac Pro, the desktop, they're also making an M chip for it. I think it's going to be an M1X, whatever it's going to be called. But it's exciting time, and yeah, I think Apple is doing good. You know, Tim Cook's doing a great job, which is amazing because I thought they had no more creativity left in them. But yeah, they had a solid plan on research and development, and they really innovated. So Apple's really doing well. Anyway, guys, hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year, and I'll check you guys out in the next video.